Sumatra, an island draped in mist and myth, where the ancient and the modern collide in a daily dance of paradox. Here, in the heart of Indonesia's wildest frontier, the land itself seems to breathe contradiction. Towering volcanoes rise above emerald rainforests, their fertile slopes nurturing both life and destruction. Rivers swollen by monsoon rains carve through dense jungle, nourishing rice paddies and villages, yet threatening to wash them away in a single night. Sumatra is a place where the boundaries between blessing and curse are blurred, where abundance and adversity are woven into the very fabric of daily life. The island's history is a tapestry of riches and hardship. Once the heart of the fabled Srivijaya Empire, Sumatra's ports bustled with traders from India, China and Arabia, drawn by the lure of gold, spices and fragrant resins. Yet, for centuries, its people have also endured the ravages of colonial exploitation, earthquakes and the relentless encroachment of the jungle. Even today, the legacy of Dutch railways, built to extract resources, not to serve the people, lingers in the rusting tracks that snake through the undergrowth, half swallowed by time and nature. In this land of extremes, survival demands ingenuity. The people of Sumatra are renowned for their resourcefulness, their ability to adapt and thrive amid uncertainty. Nowhere is this spirit more evident than in the story of Masinis, the self-taught train engineer. Born in a humble village cradled between rice fields and rainforest, Masinis grew up in the shadow of the old colonial rail lines, remnants of a bygone era now overgrown and forgotten. His fascination with machines was kindled by his father, a former railway worker who shared tales of locomotives that once stitched together distant communities and bustling markets. With little formal education but a mind sharpened by necessity, Masinis became a master of improvisation. He scavenged scrap metal from abandoned railcars, repurposed motorcycle engines, and collected discarded wheels and axles. Piece by painstaking piece, he built his own train, a patchwork marvel of engineering held together by hope, determination and the occasional bicycle part. The braking system, ingeniously crafted from old truck springs and salvaged steel, is a testament to his creativity and grit. Every morning before the first light touches the treetops, Masinis inspects his creation. He tightens bolts, checks the engine, and prepares for another day's journey. For the villagers, this homemade train is more than a machine. It is a lifeline. It carries sacks of rice, bundles of vegetables and schoolchildren across distances that would otherwise take hours to traverse on foot, especially when the roads dissolve into mud during the rainy season. In a region where official transport is scarce and infrastructure fragile, Masinis' train bridges the gap between isolation and opportunity. Yet the journey is fraught with challenges. The tracks are old and uneven, threatened by landslides, fallen trees, and the ever-present jungle. Masinis must remain vigilant, ready to halt the train or make quick repairs with whatever tools he has on hand. Sometimes he and his passengers must clear debris themselves, working side by side to keep the route open. In these moments, the train becomes a symbol of community resilience, a testament to what can be achieved when people unite against adversity. As dusk settles over the land, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, Masinis' train rattles homeward. The day's work is not yet done. Repairs must be made, fuel gathered, and preparations set for tomorrow. In the fading light, the paradoxes of Sumatra come into sharp relief. A land of breathtaking beauty and relentless hardship, of ancient tradition and modern improvisation, of isolation and connection. Through the story of Masinis and his train, we glimpse the enduring spirit of Sumatra, a place where hope and hardship travel the same tracks, and where every journey is a testament to the power of human ingenuity. This is Sumatra, a land of paradox, both cursed and blessed, setting the stage for the stories yet to unfold. Deep in the remote heart of Sumatra, where the jungle's emerald canopy stretches endlessly and villages are mere islands in a sea of green, a remarkable story unfolds each day. Here, a crumbling railway from the Dutch colonial era still snakes through the wilderness, its iron veins now rusted and overgrown. Once a marvel of engineering, this railway was carved through the jungle over a century ago, its bridges spanning ravines and its tracks laid by hands that battled monsoon rains, disease, and the ever-present threat of landslides. The construction was a feat of endurance and sacrifice. Workers toiled in brutal conditions, many succumbing to the jungle's dangers. Yet the railway pressed on inch by inch, forging a vital link between isolated settlements and the outside world. Today, the original trains are long gone, their whistles silenced by time. But the tracks are not abandoned. Masinis, a local mechanic with a mind for invention and a heart for his people, has become the railway's unlikely saviour. Refusing to let the line fall silent, he has engineered a solution that is as ingenious as it is essential. A homemade motor cart built from the remnants of discarded vehicles and the dreams of a determined man. Masinis' rail cart is a patchwork of salvaged parts, a minibus gearbox, a small gasoline engine, a battered steering wheel, and axles scavenged from old trucks. The chassis is welded from scrap metal, reinforced to withstand the punishing jolts of the warped rails. The wheels, custom-fitted to the narrow gauge, are kept in place by hand-forged brackets. Every bolt, every wire, every piece of the cart tells a story of resourcefulness and necessity. Each morning before dawn, Masinis inspects his creation. He checks the oil, tightens the bolts, and listens for the telltale rattle of a loose bearing. The journey ahead is never routine. The tracks, warped by decades of neglect and the relentless encroachment of the jungle, twist and buckle beneath the cart. Bridges groan under the weight, and the threat of derailment is constant. Sometimes it takes more than 5 hours to cover just 35 kilometres, a journey fraught with danger at every turn. Masinis faces daily challenges that would deter most. Fallen branches, landslides and flash floods can block the tracks without warning. The cart breaks down often, and Masinis must leap out, toolbox in hand, to make repairs in the sweltering heat or torrential rain. He carries spare spark plugs, belts, and even a makeshift jack, knowing that a single breakdown could leave him and his passengers stranded for hours. Sometimes I wonder if the jungle will win, Masinis confides, wiping sweat from his brow as he tightens a bolt. But then I remember the people waiting for me. I can't let them down. His motivation is deeply personal. He grew up in these villages, watched neighbours suffer when the railway was abandoned, and vowed to keep the lifeline open. His passengers, miners, teachers, mothers depend on him, and he feels the weight of their hopes with every journey. For the teacher, Masinis' train is the only way to bring books and knowledge to her students. For the mother, it is a lifeline to the nearest clinic, her child's health hanging in the balance. For the miners, it is the artery that keeps their livelihoods alive, transporting tools and ore through the jungle's maze. Masinis risks his life for a modest reward, just €10 per trip. He braves landslides, floods, and the ever-present threat of derailment, not for profit, but for the survival of his community. Each journey is a testament to his courage and commitment. His humble cart carries more than just food and building materials. It delivers medicine, school supplies, and hope, bridging the gap between isolation and survival. Without Masinis, the village would be cut off, left to face the jungle's challenges alone. The significance of Masinis' work cannot be overstated. He is the thread that binds the community to the outside world, the guardian of a forgotten railway and the embodiment of resilience in the face of adversity. Masinis is more than just a driver. He is the heartbeat of a forgotten railway, a symbol of ingenuity, perseverance and hope. His daily struggle is not just a story of engineering and endurance, but of the unbreakable spirit of a man and a community who refuse to be left behind. Deep in the heart of Sumatra, the railway is both a marvel and a menace, a lifeline carved through one of the world's most unforgiving landscapes. Every trip on Masinis' railway is a gamble with danger, a journey where the past and present collide. Built during the colonial era, the railway was once a symbol of progress, its tracks laid by hand through dense jungle and treacherous terrain. But time, weather and neglect have turned this engineering feat into a daily trial of survival. Warped rails, missing sections and landslides now turn the route into an obstacle course. The jungle reclaims what it can, and every monsoon brings new threats. Masinis, the stoic driver, faces these dangers head-on. He uses wooden planks to bridge gaps, inching his cart across ravines and unstable bridges patched with tree trunks. Each crossing is a test of nerve and ingenuity. Monsoon rains trigger landslides, sometimes wiping out entire stretches of track and halting travel for days. The railway's fate hangs on the weather's whim. When disaster strikes, the community adapts. Goods and passengers must cross muddy terrain on foot, porters earning just a few euros for back-breaking work. Their stories are etched in sweat and mud. Derailments and rollovers are constant threats. Masinis recalls a night when his cart slipped from the rails, plunging into darkness. He survived, but the memory lingers, a reminder of the razor's edge he rides each day. The community's survival depends on this fragile connection. When the tracks break, everyone, young and old, joins the repair effort, their resilience tested daily by the jungle's relentless assault. Each journey is a testament to ingenuity and determination. Masinis and his neighbours improvise with whatever they can find, scrap metal, tree trunks, even old bicycle parts, to keep the railway alive. The railway is more than transport. It's a lifeline held together by courage, memory, and the unbreakable will of those who refuse to let it die. In Sumatra, every journey on these rails is a story of survival against the odds. In another corner of Sumatra, far from the bustling cities and tourist trails, life moves to a different rhythm. A rhythm shaped by mud, rain, and the relentless determination of people like Rudy. Rudi, a wiry man in his early 40s with a ready smile and hands calloused from years behind the wheel, drives the only minibus brave enough to tackle the 80-kilometre mud track to Labura during the relentless rainy season, when most vehicles wouldn't dare attempt the journey. Each morning before dawn, Rudi checks his battered minibus, patching tyres, tightening bolts, and offering a silent prayer for safe passage. The road ahead is a churning river of mud, swallowing tyres and turning every kilometre into a battle. It's been destroyed by heavy palm oil trucks, riddled with deep ruts and potholes that threaten to trap even the toughest vehicles. Rudi knows every twist and hazard by heart, but the road changes with every rainstorm, presenting new dangers each day. What should be a 3-hour trip can stretch to 12 grueling hours as the minibus crawls forward inch by inch through the muck and mire. Rudi's hands grip the wheel, eyes scanning for the next hidden pit or slippery slope. There are frequent stops to dig out the bus or push it free from the mud's grip. Rudi jumps out first, shovel in hand, leading the effort. Passengers pay €3 for the ride and often become part of the rescue team, their hands and clothes caked in mud as they work together to keep moving. Rudi's encouragement keeps spirits high, even as exhaustion sets in. United by necessity and shared struggle, strangers quickly become companions. forging bonds in the face of adversity. Rudy's laughter is infectious and his stories distract from the hardship. Solidarity among drivers is strong. Everyone knows that on these roads no one can make it alone. Rudy is well known among his peers, always ready to lend a hand or share a spare part. When one bus is stuck, others come to help, forming a convoy of support and determination. Rudy's radio crackles with updates, and he coordinates with other drivers to ensure no one is left behind. They know they'll need the same in return, and every handshake seals a silent pact of mutual aid. Rudy's reputation as a reliable friend and leader is well earned. The journey is exhausting, uncomfortable and slow, with every bump and jolt testing the patience of those on board. Rudy checks on his passengers, offering water and reassurance. But for many villagers, it's the only way to reach the outside world, to access markets, schools and hospitals. Rudy knows the faces and stories of his regulars, farmers, teachers, children and elders. The minibus system in Sumatra has a long and storied history. Decades ago, these rugged vehicles became the lifeline for remote communities, replacing the unreliable ox carts and footpaths that once connected villages to the outside world. Older villagers recall the first minibuses as a revolution. Suddenly goods, news and opportunities could travel where before only the most determined could go. Rudy's father was one of those early drivers, and Rudy grew up riding shotgun, learning the trade and the terrain. Today the minibus is more than just a vehicle. It's a mobile marketplace, a school bus, an ambulance and a social hub. Farmers bring their crops, children their school books, and families their hopes for a better future. Rudy's bus is often packed with everything from chickens to sacks of rice. The people who rely on this system are as varied as the island itself. Traders heading to market, students eager for education, mothers seeking medical care, and elders visiting distant relatives. Rudy greets each by name, listening to their worries and dreams. Inside the cramped, bouncing cabin, a unique social dynamic unfolds. Passengers share snacks, stories and advice. Laughter and music mingle with the rumble of the engine, and even strangers look out for one another. Rudy's playlist, an eclectic mix of local pop and old folk songs, keeps the mood light. The driver is more than a chauffeur. He's a mediator, a mechanic, and sometimes a confidant. Children press their faces to the windows, watching the world slip by, while adults nap on each other's shoulders, comforted by the sense of community. Rudy listens to confessions, mediates disputes, and fixes breakdowns with whatever tools he has. Rudy's determination and optimism keep the wheels turning, inspiring those around him to keep going, no matter the odds. He jokes that the road is his second home, and the passengers his extended family. No matter how tough the road gets, he refuses to give up, pushing forward with grit and hope. Each journey is a testament to his resilience and the vital role he plays in his community. Each trip is a test of patience, endurance and community spirit, as everyone learns to rely on each other. Rudy's leadership and humour help passengers endure the worst moments. On these roads, survival depends on cooperation, resilience, and the unbreakable will to reach the journey's end together. Rudy's daily battle is not just against mud and distance, but for the very lifeline that connects Sumatra's remote heart to the wider world. In the bustling heart of Sumatra, the minibus, known locally as the angkot, is more than just a vehicle. It is a lifeline, a moving tapestry of stories, and a symbol of the island's relentless spirit. Every day, these unstoppable minibuses crisscross villages and cities, connecting remote communities to bustling markets, schools and workplaces. For many, the angkot is the only affordable way to travel. Inside, strangers become companions. Passengers share stories of harvests, weddings and dreams, while the minibus rattles over potholes and muddy roads. For drivers, the job is both a challenge and a calling. They navigate chaotic streets, unpredictable weather, and the ever-present pressure to fill every seat. Each day brings new faces and new stories. The road is not always kind. Breakdowns are common, and competition fierce. Yet the drivers persist, fueled by resilience, resourcefulness, and the hope of providing for their families. At journey's end there is relief and camaraderie. Passengers thank their driver, and the minibus, battered but unbowed, prepares for another day on the road. The Unstoppable Minibus is more than transport. It is the pulse of Sumatra, carrying hopes, hardships, and the unbreakable bonds of community, mile after mile, day after day. In the heart of Sumatra, the tradition of speed and spirit pulses through the land, a vibrant legacy that weaves together history, community, and cultural pride. Here the thunder of hooves and the cheers of villagers echo across muddy rice fields, where ancient competitions like Paku Jawi or bull racing have been celebrated for centuries. The roots of these traditions stretch deep into Sumatran soil. Originally, bull racing began as a way for farmers to celebrate the end of the harvest, test the strength of their animals, and honour the spirits believed to protect their fields. Over generations, these races evolved into grand festivals, drawing entire communities together in a shared celebration of speed, skill, and ancestral heritage. Community involvement is at the heart of these events. Days before the race, villages come alive with preparations, decorating bulls, practicing music, and cooking feasts. Elders pass down racing techniques and stories, while children dream of one day taking the reins. The entire village, from the youngest to the oldest, plays a role in the festivities, reinforcing bonds and a sense of belonging. On race day, the atmosphere is electric. Spectators line the fields, their voices rising in a chorus of encouragement. Jockeys, often young men revered for their courage, balance precariously on wooden ploughs, guiding their powerful bulls through the slippery course. Victory brings not just honour, but a deep sense of pride for the entire community. The cultural significance of these traditions extends far beyond the thrill of the race. They are a living testament to Sumatran resilience, unity, and respect for the land. Each event is a reminder of the values passed down through generations: cooperation, perseverance, and the unbreakable spirit of the people. Today, these traditions continue to evolve. New generations embrace the old ways while adapting to modern times, ensuring that the spirit of speed, community, and cultural pride endures in the heart of Sumatra. In Sumatra, the tradition of speed and spirit is more than a spectacle. It is a celebration of identity, a bridge between past and future, and a testament to the enduring soul of the land. Sumatra's forests, once among the richest and most diverse on Earth, are vanishing at an alarming rate. The culprit? A booming palm oil industry driven by global demand for everything from snack foods to cosmetics and biofuels. The environmental cost is staggering. Ancient rainforests are cleared and burned, releasing vast amounts of carbon into the atmosphere and choking the air with haze. Rivers run black with runoff, and the homes of countless species are destroyed. For many communities, palm oil is both a blessing and a curse. The industry brings jobs and roads, but also conflict and loss. Farmers who once lived from the forest now find themselves squeezed onto shrinking plots or forced to work for distant companies. We used to gather fruit, hunt and fish, one villager recalls. Now the forest is gone and the river is poisoned. The loss is not just economic but cultural, a way of life erased in a single season. The fight for Sumatra's forests is fierce. Activists and villagers demand accountability and sustainable practices, while the government struggles to balance economic growth with environmental protection. Corruption and weak enforcement often tip the scales in favour of powerful companies. Yet, Amid the devastation, hope endures. Some communities are reclaiming their land, planting trees and exploring sustainable alternatives to palm oil. They dream of a future where Sumatra's forests can provide for all, without being destroyed. The story of deforestation and palm oil in Sumatra is still being written, by those who endure, resist, and strive for a better tomorrow. Deep within the rainforests off Sumatra's western coast, the Mentawai tribe has lived in harmony with nature for centuries. Their world is one of towering trees, winding rivers, and a profound respect for the spirits that inhabit every living thing. But this harmony is now under threat. The Mentawai are renowned for their elaborate tattoos, each line a story, each symbol a connection to ancestors and the forest. Shamans, or sikere, guide the tribe with rituals that honour the spirits, passing down wisdom through generations. Yet the world beyond their island brings new dangers. Their lives revolve around the land, hunting, fishing and gathering, always taking only what is needed. Community is everything, and knowledge is shared in the warmth of the uma, the traditional longhouse. But the land itself is changing. Mining companies, drawn by the promise of gold and minerals, have carved roads deep into the forest. The once clear rivers now run brown with silt and chemicals. The air, once filled with birdsong, is heavy with the rumble of machinery and the sharp tang of diesel. For many local families, mining offers a promise of income where few other options exist. Men and even children work long hours in dangerous conditions, exposed to toxic chemicals like mercury and cyanide. Skin rashes, chronic coughs and unexplained illnesses have become common. The cost is paid in health, in lost childhoods, and in the slow poisoning of the land itself. "We dig because we must," says one miner, his voice weary. "But every day we see the forest die a little more. Our children cough at night, the fish are gone from the river." In the villages, mothers worry about the water their children drink, and elders mourn the loss of sacred groves. Environmental degradation is everywhere: bare hillsides, poisoned streams, and the slow disappearance of wildlife. Activists and villagers alike raise their voices, demanding justice, clean water, and respect for their land. But the struggle is uphill, and the cost is measured in both lost lives and lost heritage. Yet, even in the shadow of mining, the Mentawai and their neighbours fight to reclaim their future. They plant new trees, teach their children the old ways, and share their stories with the world, determined that their way of life will not vanish. In the heart of Sumatra's wild frontier, the Mentawai remind us that true wealth lies not in what we take, but in what we protect and pass on. Their struggle is a testament to the enduring spirit of a people bound to the land, and to hope for a future where tradition and progress walk side by side, and where the true cost of mining is never forgotten. Sumatra's landscape is a living testament to the power of fire and ash, a place where the earth's fury and its gifts are inextricably entwined. The island sits atop the volatile Pacific Ring of Fire, a vast horseshoe-shaped belt where tectonic plates collide and grind. Here, over 35 active volcanoes rise from the earth, each a potential source of both creation and destruction. Towering peaks like Mount Sinabung and Mount Kerinci dominate the horizon, silent sentinels that watch over the land, sometimes for centuries, before erupting with little warning. These giants are both revered and feared, their presence woven into the fabric of daily life. Throughout history, eruptions have rewritten Sumatra's fate. The land itself is a palimpsest, layered with the scars and blessings of countless eruptions, each one a dramatic chapter in the island's story. Fertile valleys, bursting with life, owe their richness to ancient lava flows. Volcanic ash, rich in minerals, transforms barren ground into some of the most productive farmland in the world. Yet this same force can erase entire villages in moments, buried beneath pyroclastic flows, suffocated by ash or swept away by lahars, the deadly mudslides that follow heavy rains. The 1883 eruption of Krakatoa just off Sumatra's coast stands as one of the most cataclysmic events in recorded history. The explosion was heard nearly 3,000 miles away, and the resulting tsunamis claimed tens of thousands of lives. Ash clouds blotted out the sun, plunging the region into darkness. The eruption altered global weather patterns, lowering temperatures and painting sunsets in vivid hues across the world. For those who live in the shadow of these giants, adaptation is not a choice, it is a necessity. Life here is a constant negotiation with the unpredictable moods of the earth. Villages are carefully built on elevated, safer slopes, away from the most dangerous paths of lava and mud. Children grow up practicing evacuation drills, learning to recognize the signs of impending eruptions, rumbling earth, the scent of sulfur, the sudden silence of birds. Farmers select crops that thrive in volcanic soil, rice, coffee and spices, plants that can withstand the mineral-rich, sometimes harsh conditions left behind by eruptions. The people of Sumatra have become expert observers, reading the mountain's moods, watching for tremors, subtle changes in animal behavior, or the shifting patterns of steam and gas. They listen for the earth's low rumbles, sometimes placing an ear to the ground to catch the faintest warning. Centuries-old wisdom is passed down through generations, stories, rituals and signs that have saved lives when modern science could not. Yet life here is not just about survival. It is about celebration, community and a deep respect for the forces that shape the land. Communities gather at the base of volcanoes, making offerings and holding ceremonies to honor the spirits of the mountains, seeking protection and expressing gratitude for the bounty the volcanoes provide. These rituals are acts of hope and resilience, a way to find meaning and connection in the face of uncertainty. The same mountains that threaten destruction also provide life, minerals for industry, fresh water from springs, and lush fields that feed entire communities. Living with fire has forged a unique resilience in Sumatra's people, a strength born of hardship, adaptation and hope. After every eruption, communities come together to rebuild, to adapt and to thrive once more, each time a little wiser, a little stronger. Even as uncertainty lingers, hope endures. The people of Sumatra continue to live, love and dream in the shadow of the volcanoes. In the eternal dance between destruction and renewal, Sumatra's volcanic legacy is ever present, reminding us of nature's power and humanity's remarkable ability to endure. The land and the spirit of those who call it home are forever shaped by fire, resilient, proud and unbreakable. Sumatra's rainforests are among the richest and most mysterious on our planet, a living tapestry woven from millions of years of evolution. These forests are not just a collection of trees, but a vast interconnected web of life, where every organism from the tallest tree to the tiniest insect plays a vital role. These ancient forests are home to a dazzling array of life, much of it found nowhere else on Earth. Over 10,000 plant species, 200 mammal species and nearly 600 bird species thrive here, many of them endemic, meaning they exist only in Sumatra. Here, the critically endangered Sumatran tiger prowls through dense undergrowth, a symbol of the island's wild spirit and a top predator essential for maintaining ecological balance. The elusive Sumatran orangutan swings gracefully from tree to tree, its fiery fur a flash of colour against the emerald canopy. As one of our closest relatives, the orangutan is a keystone species, shaping the forest by dispersing seeds and maintaining the health of the ecosystem. Deep in the shadows, the rare Sumatran rhino treads softly, a living relic from a forgotten age. With fewer than 80 individuals left, every rhino is a precious link to the island's ancient past. The forest floor is alive with hidden wonders, tiny frogs in brilliant hues, many of which are found nowhere else, playing crucial roles in controlling insect populations and serving as indicators of environmental health. Giant flowers like the corpse lily bloom with otherworldly beauty, their massive pungent blossoms attracting pollinators and reminding us of the rainforest's evolutionary marvels. Flocks of hornbills soar overhead, their calls echoing through the trees. These birds are vital seed dispersers, helping to regenerate the forest and maintain its diversity. Every layer of the rainforest, from the tangled roots to the highest branches, shelters a world of creatures, each playing a part in the delicate balance of this ecosystem. The interconnectedness of these species forms a complex web, where the loss of one can ripple through the entire system. But this extraordinary biodiversity faces grave threats. Sumatra has lost more than half of its natural forests in the past 35 years, making it one of the world's most threatened biodiversity hotspots. As forests fall to logging, palm oil plantations and encroaching development, habitats shrink and species are pushed to the brink of extinction. The Sumatran elephant, clouded leopard and Malayan tapir are just a few of the many species now fighting for survival. Conservationists across Sumatra are racing against time, tracking tigers, rescuing orphaned orangutans, and replanting native trees in damaged landscapes. Their work is vital not only for wildlife but for the health and resilience of the entire ecosystem. Through protected reserves, wildlife corridors and community education, they fight to preserve what remains of this natural treasure. Local communities are increasingly involved, learning sustainable practices and becoming stewards of their own forests. Yet the challenges are immense. Conservationists face not only environmental threats but also economic pressures and the complexities of balancing human needs with wildlife protection. Poaching, illegal trade and human-wildlife conflict persist. Elephants raid crops, tigers sometimes threaten livestock, and the illegal wildlife trade continues to decimate populations of rare animals. For every victory, setbacks loom. Reforestation projects can be destroyed by fire or illegal encroachment, and rescued animals sometimes struggle to survive in the wild. Still, hope endures in the dedication of local rangers, scientists and villagers who refuse to let Sumatra's wild heart be silenced. Their efforts are a testament to the power of collaboration and the resilience of both people and nature. The rainforest is more than just a home for rare animals. It is the lifeblood of the island, regulating climate, purifying water, and sustaining people and wildlife alike. Its rivers provide clean water, its trees store carbon, and its soils support agriculture for millions. In saving the forests, Sumatra saves itself. Restoration projects are beginning to show results, with new growth bringing hope for the future and the return of lost species. The fate of its unique species and the future of its people are entwined, rooted in the same ancient soil. The health of the forest is inseparable from the well-being of local communities. The story of Sumatra's biodiversity is not only a tale of what is at risk, but a call to recognize the deep connections between all living things. The loss of a single species can unravel the fabric of the entire ecosystem. Yet, the resilience and ingenuity of those who strive to protect it offer hope. Innovative conservation methods, from camera traps to community patrols, are making a difference, and local voices are leading the way. In every rustle of leaves and every distant tiger's roar, the wild heart of Sumatra beats on, fragile, precious, and fiercely alive. The future of this extraordinary place depends on our ability to cherish, protect, and restore the intricate web of life that makes Sumatra unique. High above Sumatra's lowland forests, the cool, misty highlands unfurl, a landscape sculpted by ancient volcanoes and blanketed in emerald fields. Here the story of Sumatran coffee begins, rooted in the island's rich volcanic soil and shaped by the hands of generations. Coffee is more than just a crop. It is the pulse of daily life and the heart of the local economy. In every village, the rhythm of the day is set by the tending, harvesting and sharing of coffee. At dawn, farmers rise to the call of the mountains. Their hands, weathered by years of labour, carefully pick the ripest Arabica and Robusta cherries. The knowledge of when to harvest, how to nurture and how to protect the plants is passed down from parent to child. Coffee cultivation in Sumatra is an intricate dance between nature and tradition. Farmers use time-honoured methods, walking the fields to inspect each tree, adjusting to the rhythms of rain and sun. Most coffee is grown by smallholder families, each tending plots no larger than a few hectares. The work is communal, children learn from their elders, and every member of the family has a role. The harvest is a family affair. Cherry red fruits are plucked by hand, sorted with practised eyes, and spread out to dry under the mountain sun. The process is slow, but it ensures only the best beans are chosen. After picking, the beans undergo the unique wet hulling process, known locally as giling basa. This traditional method, developed to suit Sumatra's humid climate, gives the coffee its signature earthy, full-bodied flavour, prized by connoisseurs around the world. But coffee is more than an export. In Sumatran villages, it is woven into the fabric of daily life. In the Highlands, coffee is a symbol of hospitality and connection. Neighbours gather to share a cup, welcoming guests with warmth and conversation. Friends and family come together over steaming cups, sharing news, laughter and stories as old as the hills. Coffee ceremonies mark important moments from weddings to harvest festivals. The aroma of freshly roasted beans drifts through homes and markets, a scent that signals both comfort and celebration. Yet the life of a coffee farmer is far from easy. The work is hard, and the rewards are uncertain. Fluctuating global prices, unpredictable weather, and the encroachment of industrial agriculture threaten both livelihoods and landscapes. Many farmers worry about the future of their craft. Many struggle to earn a fair wage, balancing tradition with the pressures of a changing world. Still, hope persists. Cooperatives have formed, allowing farmers to pool resources, secure better prices, and invest in sustainable practices that protect both forest and farm. The community's resilience is evident. Farmers experiment with new techniques, plant shade trees and work together to ensure the land remains fertile for generations to come. Speaker_1. Coffee is our life, says Pak Ahmad, a third-generation farmer. It is what we know, what we love. When we drink coffee together, we remember our ancestors and dream for our children. Speaker_2. I teach my daughters to care for the trees, shares Ibu Sari. It is hard work, but it brings us together. Coffee is our pride. From these highlands, Sumatran coffee journeys across oceans, exported to distant lands, savoured in cafes from Tokyo to New York. Each bean carries the story of the people and the place it came from. With every cup brewed, the spirit of Sumatra's highlands is shared, a taste of perseverance, tradition and hope for the future. The story of Sumatran coffee is not just about a drink, but about a people, a land and a legacy that endures. Medan, Sumatra's largest city and a vibrant urban heart, stands as a living testament to the island's ongoing transformation. Here, the pulse of modernity beats in rhythm with the echoes of tradition, creating a cityscape where the past and future are in constant conversation. Once a modest trading post carved from dense jungle, Medan has exploded into a sprawling metropolis. Its skyline is now punctuated by gleaming towers, bustling markets, and the ceaseless movement of millions. The city's expansion has transformed wild landscapes into a patchwork of concrete, glass and steel. The streets of Medan are alive with energy, motorbikes weaving through traffic, vendors calling out their wares, and the vibrant chatter of people from every walk of life. The city's soundscape is a symphony of old and new, where the clang of construction mingles with the melodies of street musicians. Medan's true richness lies in its diversity. Batak, Javanese, Chinese, Indian and Malay communities have all left their indelible marks on the city's food, language and architecture. In every neighbourhood you'll find a tapestry of cultures woven together, each contributing to the city's unique identity. Modern skyscrapers soar above colonial-era facades, while neon-lit malls stand shoulder to shoulder with centuries-old temples and mosques. This juxtaposition is not just visual, it's a daily reality for Medan's residents who navigate a world where history and innovation coexist. The city's rapid urbanization brings both promise and challenge. Construction cranes dot the horizon, signalling progress but also hinting at the growing pains of a city racing toward the future. Opportunity abounds in Medan. New jobs, better education, and improved infrastructure attract people from across Sumatra and beyond. Young professionals commute to gleaming office towers, while students fill modern classrooms dreaming of futures their parents could scarcely imagine. The city's economy thrives on trade, industry and a spirit of innovation. Medan's port hums with activity, markets buzz with commerce, and new businesses spring up daily, offering hope to those seeking a better life. Yet this growth comes at a price. The city's infrastructure strains under the weight of its own success. Traffic snarls clog the streets, air pollution hangs heavy over the skyline, and green spaces shrink as concrete spreads. The city's parks, once places of respite, are now islands amid a sea of development. Medan's rivers, once lifelines for trade and daily life, now struggle under the burden of waste and unchecked development. Their banks, crowded with construction and refuse, tell a story of environmental cost. The city's prosperity is unevenly shared. Affordable housing remains out of reach for many, and the gap between rich and poor is starkly visible. Luxury apartments rise beside crowded slums, and families in modest homes look up at glittering high-rises. Still, amid the rush of modernity, tradition endures. Elders in traditional dress pass down rituals and stories, anchoring families in a shared heritage even as the world around them changes. In Medan's neighbourhoods, families gather for communal meals, sharing recipes handed down through generations. The aroma of spices fills the air, connecting the present to the past. Traditional markets brim with spices, textiles and crafts, a living link to the city's history. Here, artisans and traders keep ancient skills alive even as the world outside grows ever more modern. Religious festivals light up Medan year-round, drawing crowds in celebration and reflection. These moments of unity remind the city of its shared roots, even as it looks to the future. Old and new blend in unexpected ways. Modern youth gather in historic courtyards, their smartphones glowing beneath ancient arches. Young entrepreneurs launch tech startups beside traditional coffee stalls, forging a future that honours the past while embracing innovation. Street food vendors accept digital payments while elders teach ancient songs to children in crowded courtyards. The city's soul is a blend of memory and ambition. Medan is a city in perpetual motion, balancing the relentless push of progress with the enduring pull of heritage. Every day, its people navigate the crossroads of tradition and modernity. The story of Medan is the story of Sumatra at a crossroads, where the future is built on the foundations of the past and where the dreams of millions converge in a city that never stands still. Here, in the heart of Sumatra, the journey between what was and what will be continues. One day, one tradition, and one innovation at a time. Across the vast and varied landscapes of Sumatra, the story of the island is inseparable from the story of its women. guardians of tradition, bearers of culture and catalysts for progress. Their presence is woven into every aspect of Sumatran life, from the bustling cities to the most remote villages. For generations, women have shaped the very fabric of Sumatran society. Often quietly, sometimes boldly, but always with resilience, they have been the silent architects of their communities, nurturing families, preserving customs, and adapting to change. In the Highlands, the Minangkabau people practice a unique matrilineal system. Here, women inherit land and homes, their status placing them at the very heart of family and community. The matriarchs are not just keepers of property, but also of wisdom and tradition. Grandmothers, revered as living libraries, pass down wisdom through folk tales and rituals. Their stories, told by the fireside or during ceremonies, guide younger generations with a steady hand, teaching lessons of resilience, respect and hope. Daily life is a dance of tradition, preparing ceremonial feasts that bring entire villages together, weaving intricate songket cloth that tells stories in gold and silk, tending rice fields with patience, and nurturing the bonds that hold communities together. Yet Sumatran women are not confined by custom. In the cities, they stride confidently into new roles, balancing tradition and modernity with grace and determination. Meet Dewi, a young entrepreneur in Medan, who started her own tech company after years of working in her family's market stall, or Sari, a teacher in Padang, who mentors girls in STEM, determined to break stereotypes and open new doors for the next generation. In Medan's bustling markets, women like Dewi's mother run thriving stalls and family businesses. Their voices rise above the din as they negotiate, organize and innovate, ensuring their family's survival and success. In classrooms across the island, female teachers like Sari inspire the next generation. They break cycles of poverty, open doors to opportunity, and plant seeds of ambition in young minds. But the path is not without obstacles. Many women face barriers to education, limited job opportunities, and social expectations that challenge their ambitions. In rural areas, early marriage and economic hardship can narrow futures. Young women like Lena, who dreams of becoming a doctor, must often fight against tradition and circumstance to pursue their goals. Yet change is stirring. Girls walk miles to school determined to learn. Women gather in small groups, sharing stories and aspirations, supporting each other through hardship. Across the island, women's groups and activists are fighting for equality, campaigning against child marriage, advocating for better healthcare, and leading grassroots movements to protect the environment. Activists like Nur, who leads a local group, have helped hundreds of girls stay in school and avoid early marriage. Their courage is visible in the faces of those who stand up to illegal loggers, defend Indigenous rights, or organize relief efforts after natural disasters. In the forests, women like Maya risk their safety to protect ancestral lands from destruction. From the boardroom to the rice paddy, from the parliament chamber to the village square, Sumatran women are rewriting what it means to lead. Politicians like Ibu Rina champion women's rights in government, while village leaders like Fatima organize community projects that uplift everyone. Their stories are as diverse as the island itself, each one a thread in the tapestry of Sumatra's past, present and future. From the highlands to the coast, from ancient traditions to modern innovations, Sumatran women are the heartbeat of change. Together, they are shaping a new legacy, one where tradition and progress walk hand in hand and where the voices of women echo with strength, hope and possibility. Their impact is felt in every corner of Sumatra, and their journey is far from over. Across Sumatra, food is more than sustenance. It's a celebration of heritage, community, and the island's astonishing diversity. Every meal is a sensory journey where the sizzle of spices, the aroma of coconut, and the laughter of families blend into a living tapestry of tradition. Step into a bustling market at dawn, and you'll be greeted by the vibrant colours and aromas of fresh produce, fiery red chilies, fragrant lemongrass, and bundles of jungle herbs that form the backbone of Sumatran cuisine. Here vendors call out their wares, and the air is thick with the promise of the day's meals. Signature dishes reveal the island's soul. Each plate is a story passed down through generations, shaped by migration, trade, and the bounty of the land. Rendang, a slow-cooked beef curry rich with coconut and spices, is not just a meal, it's a symbol of patience, tradition, and festivity. The ritual of making rendang begins with pounding fresh spices, galangal, ginger, turmeric, and chilies, by hand, then simmering beef for hours until it's tender and deeply infused. Often prepared for weddings and sacred ceremonies, rendang is a dish of celebration, where families gather to cook, share stories, and honour their ancestors. In the coastal towns, you'll find ikan bakar, grilled fish marinated in turmeric, garlic, and lime, served with sambal that tingles on the tongue and brings families together around a single plate. The ritual of grilling over open flames, the crackle of fish skin, and the squeeze of fresh lime are as much a part of the experience as the taste itself. Each region boasts its own specialties, shaped by geography and history. The highlands, coasts, and forests each contribute unique flavours and ingredients, creating a patchwork of culinary identities. In Padang, plates of spicy gulai and jackfruit curry are shared in a communal feast known as hidang, embodying the Minangkabau spirit of togetherness. The ritual is as important as the food. Dishes are placed in the centre, and everyone eats with their right hand, savouring the rich coconut-laden sauces and the warmth of family. In the Batak Highlands, tangy arsik fish is flavoured with torch ginger and andaliman pepper, a taste unique to the forests and lakes surrounding Lake Toba. The preparation is a ritual in itself. Fish is stuffed with a fragrant paste, then simmered slowly, infusing every bite with the wild essence of the land. For the people of Sumatra, food is a language of love and identity. Cooking together is a cherished ritual, where elders teach the young not just recipes but the values and stories behind each dish. Recipes are passed from mother to daughter, father to son, each generation adding a new twist. A pinch more spice, a secret ingredient, a story told as hands knead dough or stir a simmering pot. These are the threads that bind families together. A simple bowl of soto Medan coconut milk soup with tender chicken, lemongrass and crispy shallots evokes memories of family gatherings and hometown pride. The ritual of serving soto with its fragrant steam rising is a moment of comfort and nostalgia. Street food culture thrives too. As night falls, the streets come alive with sizzling woks, the scent of frying dough and the chatter of hungry crowds. Vendors on corners serve martabak, stuffed pancakes crisped on a griddle, spicy fried snacks, and sweet desserts like kue lapis, each bite a blend of influences from India, China, and the Middle East. The ritual of choosing a snack, watching it prepared before your eyes, and sharing it with friends is a nightly tradition. Here, a meal is a mosaic of history, migration, and innovation. Each dish tells a story of traders who brought new spices, of ancestors who adapted recipes to the land, of communities who welcomed new flavours and made them their own. But beyond taste, food in Sumatra binds communities. The act of sharing a meal, whether in a humble home or at a grand festival, creates bonds that endure across generations. Festivals, harvests and religious holidays are marked by shared meals and open doors. During Ramadan, Eid or harvest festivals, neighbours and strangers alike are welcomed to the table, and the rituals of cooking and eating together become acts of gratitude and unity. To eat together is to honour ancestors, forge friendships and celebrate the land's bounty. Before each meal, a prayer of thanks is offered, and laughter fills the air as stories are exchanged over shared plates. In every market, kitchen and village feast, Sumatra's culinary traditions tell a story of resilience, adaptation, and the enduring joy of sharing a meal, from the pounding of spices to the passing of recipes, from the rituals of feasting to the quiet comfort of a family dinner. Sumatra's food is a living, breathing tapestry, woven with memory, flavour and love. Across Sumatra, the struggle for indigenous rights is a battle fought quietly, yet fiercely, in the shadows of ancient forests and the halls of modern power. But this fight is not new. It is rooted in centuries of history, stretching back to the first encounters between indigenous peoples and outside forces. For generations, communities like the Orang Rimba, the Batak, and the Mentawai have lived in harmony with the land, their identities and livelihoods deeply rooted in ancestral territories. Colonial rule and later the rise of the modern Indonesian state brought new challenges. Land was reclassified, forests were open to commercial interests, and customary rights were often ignored or erased. Today, the landscape is changing faster than ever. As palm oil plantations, logging and mining expand, land disputes have become a painful reality. Families find their forests cleared overnight, sacred sites bulldozed and rivers polluted. For many, legal documents and land titles remain out of reach, leaving them vulnerable to displacement and exploitation. The loss is not only physical but spiritual, a severing of the bond between people and place. Yet resistance endures. Indigenous leaders and activists organize protests, document abuses and petition the courts for recognition of customary land rights. Grassroots organizations work tirelessly, helping communities map their territories and tell their stories to the world. To understand the heart of this struggle, we spoke with Pak Jaya, a respected leader of the Orang Rimba. Our ancestors taught us that the forest is our mother. When the trees fall, we lose not just our home, but our history. We have tried to speak with the companies, with the government, but often our voices are ignored. Local journalists and activists document deforestation, while indigenous people record the damage with smartphones, evidence for legal battles and international campaigns. Grassroots organizations help communities map their territories, a crucial step in gaining legal recognition. International allies amplify their voices, demanding justice and accountability. Cultural preservation is woven into this fight. Language classes, traditional ceremonies and craft workshops keep ancient knowledge alive, even as outside influences grow stronger. Elders teach the young about the old ways, how to read the forest, how to honour the spirits, how to stand together when threatened. We also met with Siti, a Batak activist who shared her perspective. We face intimidation, legal battles and sometimes violence, but we are not afraid. Each time we win a case or protect a sacred site, it gives us hope. We do this for our children so they will know who they are. Each victory, a protected forest, a recognised land claim, a celebrated festival, is a step toward a more just future. Sumatra's indigenous peoples are more than victims of progress. They are its conscience and its hope. Their struggle is a reminder that the fight for land is also a fight for memory, dignity, and the right to shape one's destiny. In every village meeting and courtroom hearing, the guardians of the land stand firm, determined to ensure that their stories and their forests endure for generations to come. The fight for indigenous rights in Sumatra is far from over, but with every act of resistance, every story told, and every forest saved, hope grows stronger. Sumatra stands at a crossroads, its future shaped by the choices made today, choices that will echo for generations to come. The island's story is one of paradox, but also of possibility. The challenges are immense: deforestation, climate change, and the relentless push for economic growth threaten the very heart of Sumatra's wild beauty. Yet these obstacles have sparked a wave of innovation and determination across the island. Across Sumatra, seeds of hope take root. In the shadow of loss, renewal begins, tiny seedlings breaking through the soil, promising a greener tomorrow. Communities, scientists and local leaders are forging new paths towards sustainability. Together they are determined to restore what's been lost and protect what remains, blending traditional wisdom with modern science. In the heart of the rainforest, reforestation projects breathe new life into scarred landscapes. These efforts are more than symbolic. They are the foundation of a living, breathing future. Villagers plant native trees, nurturing green corridors that reconnect fragmented habitats. Endangered species, once on the brink, now find sanctuary in these restored wilds, their survival a testament to human resolve. Innovative farming cooperatives are teaching sustainable methods, empowering families to earn a living while preserving the forests that sustain them. These new approaches blend ancient agricultural knowledge with cutting-edge techniques, ensuring food security and ecological balance. On the coasts and in the cities, entrepreneurs are harnessing Sumatra's rich natural resources with a new vision, one that values long-term prosperity over short-term gain. Eco-friendly businesses and sustainable industries are rising, offering hope for a thriving, balanced economy. Ecotourism initiatives invite visitors to experience the island's wonders firsthand. These programs support conservation, create jobs and foster pride in Sumatra's unique heritage, ensuring that both people and nature benefit. Solar panels now glint on village rooftops, and small hydro projects bring clean energy to remote communities. Where darkness once reigned, light now shines, powering schools, clinics and dreams for a better future. But true progress is measured not just in economics, but in the spirit of the people. Across Sumatra, hope is alive in every smile, every gathering, every child at play. Resilience is a way of life here. Families and communities draw strength from each other, weathering storms and setbacks with unwavering resolve. In the face of disaster, communities rebuild, stronger, wiser and more united than before. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to learn, adapt and grow. Young leaders are stepping forward, blending tradition with innovation. They honour their heritage while embracing technology, forging a future that is both rooted and visionary. The path ahead is not easy. The terrain is steep, the journey uncertain, but the will to persevere is stronger than ever. Progress demands courage, cooperation, and a willingness to learn from both past mistakes and ancestral wisdom. Communities gather, share stories and pass on skills, ensuring that knowledge endures. With every tree planted, every river restored, every lesson taught in the open air, Sumatra moves closer to a future where people and nature thrive together. Each small act of renewal is a step toward a greater transformation. Sumatra's story is still being written. The next chapter is unwritten. Its pages open to the dreams and actions of today's generation. Its fate rests not only in the hands of its people, but in the choices we all make about what we value, what we protect, and what legacy we leave behind. The world is watching, and together we can shape a future of balance and hope. In resilience, in renewal, and in hope, Sumatra finds its way forward, a beacon for a world in search of balance, justice, and a sustainable tomorrow. The island's journey is a testament to the power of human spirit and the promise of a brighter, greener future for all. Sumatra, an island of staggering beauty and profound paradox. Here the land breathes with ancient life, its rainforests among the oldest on earth, shrouded in mist and mystery. Towering trees form a living cathedral, their roots entwined with the stories of countless generations. But within this living tapestry, a struggle unfolds, a struggle for survival, for memory, and for the soul of a people. The people of Sumatra are as diverse as its landscapes. From the Mentawai of the remote islands to the Batak of the Highlands and the Minangkabau with their matrilineal traditions, each group carries a unique heritage shaped by the land. For the Mentawai, the rainforest is not just home. It is the heart of their existence, a living ancestor, a sacred realm. Their connection to the land is intimate, spiritual, and all-encompassing. The Mentawai live in harmony with the forest, their lives woven into its rhythms. Every gesture, every tradition echoes the pulse of the jungle. They gather sago and wild fruits, hunt with poison-tipped arrows, and weave their homes from palm and bamboo. Their tattoos, intricate swirling patterns, are not mere decoration, but living maps of identity, protection and belonging, each line a story passed from ancestor to child. Across Sumatra, people draw sustenance from the land, rice from the paddies, fish from the rivers, fruit and roots from the wild. Yet for the Mentawai, the forest is more than a larder. It is a living pharmacy, a classroom, a temple. The knowledge of plants and animals, of seasons and spirits is passed down in whispered stories and sacred rituals. The shaman's wisdom is the tribe's lifeline. With deft hands they prepare medicines from leaves and roots, treat wounds, and guide the people through illness and hardship. In a world where modern medicine is distant, these remedies are lifelines, and the wisdom to use them is a treasure more precious than gold. The Mentawai believe that every plant has a spirit, every illness a story, and healing is a sacred act of balance. This knowledge is passed from elder to child, woven into stories, rituals, and daily life. It is a thread that binds generations, a testament to resilience in the face of change. The Mentawai teach their children to listen to the forest, to respect its spirits, and to honor the ancestors who dwell within its shadows. The forest is sacred, a place where the seen and unseen worlds meet. Rituals honor the spirits of the land, seeking harmony and balance. For the Mentawai, every tree, every stream is alive with meaning. Ceremonies mark the cycles of life, birth, marriage, death, each one a vibrant tapestry of music, dance and colour. Their ceremonies are vibrant, filled with music, dance and colour, expressions of gratitude and reverence for the natural world. These traditions are not relics, but living practices, adapting even as the world changes around them. The Mentawai's rituals are acts of resistance, affirming their identity in the face of encroaching modernity. Yet, Sumatra is a land of contradiction. The same forests that sustain life are under relentless assault. Logging, palm oil plantations and mining carve scars into the earth, threatening not only the Mentawai, but all who depend on the land. The Mentawai watch as the jungle recedes, replaced by silent fields and the distant roar of machines. The march of industry brings wealth to some, but devastation to many. Ancient trees fall, rivers run muddy, and the songs of birds are silenced. The paradox of Sumatra, a land blessed with abundance, yet cursed by exploitation. For the Mentawai, every felled tree is a wound, every cleared field a memory erased. The struggle is not just for land, but for identity, memory and future. The Mentawai and other indigenous peoples stand at the front lines, their cultures and livelihoods at stake. They face not only the loss of their forests, but the erosion of their language, their rituals, and their very sense of self. The Mentawai have resisted before, blocking roads, confronting loggers, and demanding justice. Their courage is a beacon, but the threats are constant, and the stakes could not be higher. They organize, they protest, They reach out to the world beyond the jungle, seeking allies in their fight for survival. For the Mentawai, and for Sumatra itself, the loss of the forest would mean the loss of everything: identity, knowledge and hope for generations yet unborn. The elders patrol the shrinking jungle, teaching the young to defend what remains, even as the world outside grows ever closer. The land bears the scars of this struggle. Empty clearings where giants once stood, silent witnesses to a vanishing world. The Mentawai mourn not only the loss of trees, but the loss of stories, of spirits, of the sacred web that once bound all things together. Yet hope endures. The next generation learns the old ways even as they face an uncertain future. Their resilience is a testament to the enduring spirit of Sumatra's people. In the face of loss, the Mentawai hold fast to their language, their rituals, and their dreams. The struggle of the Mentawai is a powerful symbol, a call to preserve not just a forest, but a way of life, a living heritage, and the wild heart of Sumatra itself. Their last stand is not only for themselves, but for all who cherish the world's wild places. The fate of the Mentawai is a warning, an hourglass running low, a reminder that time is running out for Sumatra's wonders. But it is also a plea to listen, to learn, to act before the last song of the forest is silenced forever. The Mentawai's last stand is a call to action, to protect what remains, to honour the wisdom of the past, and to ensure that Sumatra's paradox endures not as a tragedy, but as a story of hope and renewal. In the heart of the rainforest, the spirit of the Mentawai endures, defiant, resilient and alive. Gap 3S. Beneath Sumatra's emerald canopy and volcanic peaks, hidden stories linger, whispers of ancient kingdoms, forgotten empires, and civilizations lost to time. Long before the modern world carved its mark upon the island, Sumatra was a cradle of power and innovation, a crossroads of trade, faith and ambition. The island's rivers and jungles conceal the remnants of mighty realms. In the shadow of Mount Kerinci, the Srivijaya Empire once flourished, an ancient thalassocracy that for 6 centuries commanded the seas from the 7th to the 13th century. Srivijaya's influence stretched from the Malay Peninsula to the farthest islands of Indonesia, binding together a network of traders, monks, and adventurers. Its capital, believed to be near modern-day Palembang, was a beacon of Buddhist learning and maritime wealth, yet much about Srivijaya remains shrouded in mystery. Archaeologists sift through the soil, uncovering temple ruins, inscriptions and relics, stone Buddhas, golden jewellery and fragments of ancient scripts. Each discovery offers a tantalizing glimpse into a world where scholars and sailors, priests and princes mingled in the bustling markets and sacred halls. Deeper inland, the enigmatic Muaro Jambi complex sprawls across the landscape, a vast site of brick temples and ceremonial mounds, still only partially excavated. Was this the heart of a forgotten kingdom, or a spiritual centre for wandering monks? The answers are buried beneath centuries of earth and vine. Sumatra's lost civilizations are not confined to the lowlands. In the Highlands, oral traditions speak of vanished dynasties and ancestral heroes. The Batak people recount tales of great kings and stone monuments, their megaliths and burial sites silent witnesses to an age when power and faith intertwined. Even today, new discoveries emerge. Ancient beads unearthed from riverbanks, Sanskrit inscriptions carved into stone, and shipwrecks resting on the seafloor, cargoes of porcelain and spices still intact. Each find deepens the island's mystery, rewriting what we know about Sumatra's place in the ancient world. These echoes of empire remind us that Sumatra's story is not only one of nature and survival, but of human ingenuity, ambition and connection. The island's ancient kingdoms shaped the languages, religions and cultures that endure to this day, threads woven into the fabric of modern Sumatra. Yet as jungles reclaim forgotten cities and rivers swallow the remnants of palaces, much is left to uncover. The mysteries of Sumatra's ancient past invite us to look closer, to listen for the voices of those who came before, and to honour a legacy that still shapes the island's spirit. In the ruins and relics, in the stories passed from elder to child, Sumatra's ancient kingdoms live on, silent, enduring, and waiting to be rediscovered. Across the sprawling landscapes of Sumatra, faith weaves through every aspect of life, a living tapestry of beliefs, rituals, and sacred traditions shaped by centuries of change and encounter. The island's spiritual journey is as diverse as its rainforest canopy, where ancient animist customs, world religions, and local wisdom intertwine. In the bustling cities and remote villages alike, the call to prayer echoes from minarets, a daily rhythm for millions of Sumatrans who follow Islam, the island's dominant faith since the arrival of traders and scholars more than 7 centuries ago. Mosques, both grand and humble, stand as centres of community, learning and charity, their domes rising above rice fields and urban sprawl. Yet Islam is but one thread in Sumatra's spiritual fabric. In the highlands of North Sumatra, the Batak people uphold ancient traditions, Christian hymns mingling with ancestral rituals, churches standing beside stone megaliths where spirits of the land are still honoured. The legacy of Dutch missionaries endures, but so too does the reverence for nature, ancestors and sacred places. Along the western coast, in the lush heartland of the Minangkabau, matrilineal customs blend with Islamic law, creating a unique social order where adat, traditional law, exists side by side with religious teachings. Here, weddings, funerals and festivals become vibrant expressions of both faith and family heritage. Hindu-Buddhist echoes linger in the island's rituals and folklore, a legacy of ancient kingdoms like Srivijaya and Pagaruyung. In the shadow of old temple ruins, offerings of flowers and incense are still made, and sacred dances recall stories from a time when gods and spirits walked the earth. For the indigenous Mentawai and other forest-dwelling peoples, animism remains at the core of identity. Shamans, known as Sikarai, mediate between the human and spirit worlds, invoking the power of ancestors and nature to heal, protect and guide. Ceremonial tattoos, chants and communal feasts mark the cycles of life and the changing seasons. Across Sumatra, religious festivals light up the calendar, Ramadan lanterns glowing in the night, Christmas choirs filling mountain air, Cap Gourmet parades winding through Chinatown streets, and the sound of gongs and drums marking harvest celebrations. Each tradition, whether rooted in faith or folklore, brings communities together in shared hope and gratitude. Through centuries of migration, trade and transformation, Sumatra's spiritual mosaic has been shaped by openness and adaptation. Here, faith is not merely a private matter, it is a living force, guiding daily choices, inspiring art and architecture and shaping the bonds between neighbours. In every prayer whispered at dawn, in every offering set afloat on a river, the island's spiritual legacy endures, resilient, diverse and ever-evolving. It is a reminder that Sumatra's greatest strength lies not only in its natural wonders or ancient empires, but in the hearts and hopes of its people, united by the search for meaning and connection. Sumatra, an island defined by its lush rainforests and powerful rivers, now faces a threat as invisible as it is relentless: climate change. Here the rhythms of daily life are shifting as the island finds itself on the front lines of a global crisis. Along Sumatra's sprawling coastline, entire communities watch the tides with growing anxiety. Rising sea levels, driven by melting polar ice and warming oceans, are swallowing up beaches, farmland and even homes. In low-lying villages near the eastern shore, salt water seeps into rice paddies, turning once fertile fields into barren ground. Families who have farmed the same land for generations now face an uncertain future, forced to adapt or move inland. But the changes do not stop at the water's edge. Across the island, weather patterns grow increasingly unpredictable. Monsoon rains, once a reliable blessing, now arrive late or not at all, causing droughts that parch crops and strain water supplies. When the rains do come, they fall harder and faster, triggering devastating floods and landslides that sweep through villages and disrupt lives in an instant. In the Highlands, coffee farmers like Pakdedi have noticed their harvests shrinking as temperatures rise and pests spread to new altitudes. "We used to know when the rains would come," he says, "but now we can only guess." For many, the climate crisis is not a distant threat but a daily reality, felt in every failed crop, every flooded road, every anxious glance at the sky. Yet amidst these challenges, hope endures. Across Sumatra, communities are finding new ways to adapt and survive. In the coastal village of Sungai Apit, residents have built protective mangrove barriers, planting thousands of saplings to shield their homes from storm surges and erosion. In the Highlands, farmers experiment with drought-resistant crops and sustainable irrigation, sharing knowledge through cooperatives and local networks. Young innovators and elders alike are leading the charge, installing solar panels to power remote schools, reviving traditional water management systems, and teaching the next generation to care for the land with wisdom and respect. NGOs and local governments are working together, reforesting hillsides to reduce landslides, restoring peatlands to prevent fires, and campaigning to reduce carbon emissions from industry and transport. Sumatra's battle with climate change is far from over, but it is a story of resilience as much as risk. Here, adaptation is not just a strategy, it is a testament to the island's enduring spirit, and a reminder that even in the face of global challenges, local action can shape the future. As the sun sets over the rainforest canopy, casting golden light on rivers and rice fields, Sumatra stands at a crossroads, its people determined to protect their home and to pass on its wonders to the generations yet to come. Sumatra, long celebrated for its wild landscapes and ancient traditions, is now witnessing a new kind of transformation, one shaped not by the jungle or the river, but by the relentless pulse of urbanization. Across the island, cities like Medan, Palembang and Pekanbaru are swelling with new arrivals. Every day, families from rural villages pack their belongings and journey toward the promise of opportunity, trading rice fields for concrete and the rhythms of the forest for the ceaseless hum of city life. For some, the city means hope, better schools, modern healthcare, and the possibility of a brighter future. But this rapid growth comes at a cost. The infrastructure of Sumatra's cities strains under the weight of expansion. Roads choke with traffic, and aging bridges creak beneath endless streams of vehicles. Power outages and water shortages are common, while crowded neighbourhoods spring up faster than the services needed to support them. For newcomers, adapting to city life is both exhilarating and disorienting. Traditional customs like communal meals or nightly storytelling are harder to maintain in cramped apartments and bustling markets. The bonds that once tied entire villages together are tested by the anonymity and pace of urban living. Yet in the heart of these cities, traces of old Sumatra persist. Street vendors serve up familiar flavours, spicy rendang, sweet martabak and fragrant kopi tubruk, keeping culinary traditions alive amidst glass towers and neon lights. Religious festivals and neighbourhood gatherings fill the streets with colour, music and the echoes of home. But challenges remain. As green spaces vanish beneath asphalt and rivers become clogged with waste, the environmental impact of unchecked urban growth becomes impossible to ignore. Urban poverty, inequality and the erosion of traditional values cast long shadows over the promise of progress. Still, Sumatran cities are places of innovation and resilience. In Medan, young entrepreneurs transform old warehouses into creative hubs, blending heritage with modernity. Community leaders advocate for sustainable transport and green spaces, while architects design buildings that honor local materials and traditions. Urbanization is reshaping Sumatra, not just its skylines, but its very soul. The island stands at a crossroads, striving to balance the demands of the future with the wisdom of the past. In the mosaic of city lights that now shine across Sumatra's night, the story of transformation continues, one of challenge, adaptation, and the enduring spirit of its people. Beneath Sumatra's bustling cities and verdant jungles, a vibrant current flows, one born of creativity, artistry, and centuries-old traditions. Here, art is not just decoration, but the lifeblood of community and cultural identity. In the villages, the hypnotic beat of the gondang drums calls neighbours together, echoing through the coconut groves. Dancers in bright ulos fabrics spin and leap, their movements telling ancient stories of love, war, and the sacred bond with nature. Each gesture, each note preserves the wisdom of generations, an unbroken thread tying the present to the past. On city streets, creativity takes on new forms. Murals bloom on concrete walls in Medan, transforming grey alleyways into technicolor galleries. Young painters and sculptors reinterpret Batak and Minangkabau motifs, fusing tradition with modern expression. At night, open-air cafes pulse with the sounds of dangdut and jazz, where saxophones mingle with the haunting strains of the serunai flute. Sumatra's music traditions are as diverse as its people. The Talimpong ensemble rings out at weddings and festivals, while the bamboo saluang carries bittersweet melodies across the highlands. In Aceh, the energetic Saman dance, known as the Dance of 1,000 Hands, is both prayer and performance, a dazzling display of unity and rhythm. Creativity is also resistance, a way for Sumatran communities to assert their identity in a rapidly changing world. Artisans revive lost weaving techniques, passing them on to new generations. Poets recite verses in crowded markets, giving voice to hopes and struggles. In every brushstroke, every drumbeat, the island's soul endures. Today, Sumatra's artists stand at a crossroads, facing the pressures of globalization and fading traditions. Yet their resilience shines. Through their work, they remind us creativity is not just survival, it is celebration. It is the heartbeat of Sumatra, echoing from the rainforest to the rising skyline, weaving old legends into the fabric of tomorrow. In the shadowy depths of Sumatra's rainforests, a quiet struggle unfolds, a battle to protect some of the world's rarest creatures. Here every footprint matters. Every rustle in the undergrowth could be the elusive Sumatran tiger, a gentle orangutan swinging from the canopy, or the thunderous steps of a wild elephant herd. But these ancient forests are shrinking, and with them the future of Sumatra's wildlife hangs in the balance. Meet Eka, a young conservationist from Bukit Lawang. Each dawn, she treks the misty jungle trails, tracking orangutans orphaned by deforestation. With patience and care, Eka and her team teach them to forage, climb, and one day return to the wild. It's painstaking work, marked by heartbreak and hope, but every release is a small victory in a much larger fight. Elsewhere, rangers from the Loisa ecosystem patrol the forest day and night. Their mission to dismantle snares and confront illegal loggers. Armed with nothing but resolve and a deep love for the land, they face real danger, yet their presence is a lifeline for the creatures that call this place home. Grassroots organizations like the Sumatran Tiger Project empower local communities to become stewards of their own forests. Children learn to identify animal tracks, farmers plant buffer crops to keep elephants away from their fields, and villagers earn livelihoods by guiding eco-tours instead of clearing trees. It's not easy. Funding is scarce. Poaching and habitat loss cast long shadows. But every rescued animal, every hectare of forest saved, is a story of resilience and hope. These unsung heroes, scientists, villagers, rangers and dreamers, remind us that the fate of Sumatra's wildlife is not yet sealed. Together they are rewriting the island's story, proving that even against overwhelming odds, the wild heart of Sumatra can still beat strong if we choose to protect it. As Sumatra's wild heart beats on, the island's future is being shaped by another force: innovation on the move. Across bustling cities and remote highlands, a new era of transportation is quietly taking root, promising to bridge distances and transform lives. In the city of Palembang, the sleek carriages of the light rail transit glide above crowded streets, Sumatra's first urban rail system. Once gridlock and congestion slowed daily life to a crawl. Now commuters zip between neighbourhoods in minutes, trading traffic jams for panoramic views of the city skyline. The LRT is more than a train. It's a symbol of progress, inspiring other cities to dream of smarter, cleaner ways to get around. But Sumatra's spirit of innovation doesn't stop in the city. Deep in the rural highlands, solar-powered motorbikes and electric minibuses are making their debut, cutting through mountain fog with a gentle hum. For villagers once isolated by rough terrain, these vehicles are lifelines, delivering students to school, connecting farmers to markets, and bringing healthcare to remote communities. On the coast, a new wave of ferries, powered by hybrid engines, links the island's ports, slashing emissions and opening up trade. Engineers and local entrepreneurs are collaborating to build roads that resist floods and landslides, using recycled plastic and local materials to pave a more sustainable path forward. Yet the road to the future isn't just about technology. Community workshops teach young people to repair e-bikes and maintain solar panels, turning innovation into opportunity. Grassroots ride-sharing apps, coded by local students, help travellers navigate Sumatra's winding roads and hidden gems, fostering a new mobility that's as inclusive as it is efficient. Still, challenges remain. Remote regions await reliable connections. Investment and vision are needed to ensure every Sumatran, from city dweller to rainforest guardian, can ride the wave of progress. But the wheels are turning. From urban skylines to jungle trails, Sumatra's journey into the future of mobility is underway, driven by creativity, resilience, and a shared hope that no one will be left behind. As the island moves forward, every innovation is a bridge, linking past to present and carrying Sumatra toward a brighter, more connected tomorrow. In the heart of Sumatra, a new generation is rising, armed not just with dreams, but with the determination to shape their own destiny. From bustling city campuses to rural village classrooms, young Sumatrans are redefining what's possible for their island and themselves. Meet Dini, a university student in Medan, coding late into the night on an app that maps safe routes for women travelling home after dark. Or Andy, a high schooler in the Highlands who leads his classmates in planting trees on land once scarred by mining, turning hope into action, one sapling at a time. These youth are bridging tradition and progress. They celebrate their roots, dancing to the rhythms of Batak and Minangkabau music, preserving ancient crafts and sharing their heritage online. Yet they also look outward, forging connections with peers across the globe, learning new skills and championing causes from climate justice to digital literacy. But the path isn't easy. Many face barriers, limited access to higher education, unemployment, and the struggle to be heard in a world often dominated by older voices. In remote areas, internet access is patchy and opportunities can feel far away. Still, Sumatra's youth persist, forming collectives, launching startups, and using social media to speak out for their environment, their communities, and their rights. Their achievements shine: robotics teams from Padang winning national competitions, young filmmakers in Aceh telling untold stories, student activists pushing for clean water, better schools, and a fairer future. Above all, these young Sumatrans share a vision An island where progress doesn't mean forgetting the past, where innovation serves people and planet, and where every voice, no matter how young, is valued. As the sun sets over Sumatra's emerald hills, the voices of tomorrow ring out, confident, creative and unafraid. For the future of this island will be written not just by history, but by the dreams and determination of its youth. And their story is only just beginning.